Hey everyone, welcome to Ashley G Wellness. My name is Ashley G and I am a licensed acupuncturist in Tucson, Arizona. Today I really just wanted to make a short video about something that I've been asked about several times by clients and friends alike, and it really involves what foods do I eat during the specific seasons? How am I supposed to eat so that my body stays balanced? And what are the common types of imbalances that one would see or experience during the different seasons? So I'm going to go over the yes, you heard correctly, 5 seasons of Chinese medicine theory and a brief overview of the types of foods that one could try to implement in their diet, as well as the types of foods that one would want to avoid in their diet during the specific seasons. So I just really want to remind everyone that this is not medical advice replacement. So please continue to always communicate with your medical providers before you do anything to change your lifestyle. Also, please feel free to like this video and subscribe if you would like to get any other kinds of information and content that is related to both acupuncture, Chinese medicine, as well as yoga practice. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. Spring is the windy season, and the patterns that we would see are internal wind patterns or anything that has to do with the liver and the gallbladder. So liver and gallbladder wind patterns can look like things like twitching muscles, like your twitching eyelid, or it can look like irritability and anger or outbursts like road rage and things like that. It can also look like stroke, like wind stroke. So again, this is not medical replacement advice, but strokes tend to, in Chinese medicine theory, happen around the springtime because the spring is the windy season. And so all of these like movements inside the body, that's what they call wind. So pretty much the idea is to eat foods that are rich in chlorophyll, such as leafy green foods, and to avoid excessively sweet or heavy foods. You want to also make sure you're eating nutritious foods, not just now, but like all the time. And you want to make sure that you're filling up your body with things that can give your body, the nutrients it needs to combat things like external environmental factors such as wind. One of the ways that was described to me that wind is like in the channels is basically, you can think of your blood vessels and your channels like these hollow underpasses, or hollow, like whenever you go under a really long bridge and then it's like a wind tunnel. You feel the wind kind of just rushing through there because it's a vacant space. So whenever you are blood deficient or nutrient deficient, your vessels are not filled up with the vital nutrients and or blood or fluids that it needs to keep the wind out. So therefore your body, your vessels are more likely to get wind inside the vessels because of that vacancy space that lies within them. So in the summer, of course, this is the hot month, and we would definitely see more patterns that have to do with heat in the body, heat in the blood, heat in the heart, in the pericardium, heat in the small intestine. So heat in the heart, pericardium can look like we can have rapid heartbeat, any kind of heart problems. In the summertime, there can be things like mania, which is the emotion associated with the heart, along with joy. So that would be overjoy. And then with the small intestine, if there's heat in there, it can look like some digestive issues related to the small intestine. Foods you would want to eat during this time are more bitter in flavor and cooling, or contain a high water content, and these can look like watermelon, bitter melon, any kind of melon, strawberries, and cucumbers. One of my favorite things to make is strawberry cucumber water. It's delicious and very hydrating and very cooling. Pretty much you want to have a higher plant content during this time of year and less heavy, dense foods, less animal products. You want to keep it light in your diet so that your body can more easily cool itself down. So here's the weird season. This is the one that makes 5 seasons, and it's late summer. So late summer gets its own season because it's basically a longer transition period between seasons than the other ones, and it's a damp and hot season. So we'll see damp and hot patterns, and this will most likely affect the stomach and spleen, or the digestive system in general. Digestive problems we would see during this time would often be related to like hot diarrhea or diarrhea that is yellow, foul smelling. One might experience a lot of fatigue, brain fog during this time. They might not be able to get enough energy to do the things that they need to do, maybe don't think clearly, and so on and so forth. So it's good to stay away from, again, heavy foods during this time because it is still summer, and especially because of the damp heat effect, this will make it worse if we eat more greasy foods and keep eating all of the sugar that we want. That's why even though like ice cream is a summer food, it's actually a terrible summer food because it actually can create more dampness and heat in the body if we eat too much of it. The foods you do want to eat during this time are bland diet, meaning there's no extreme of any flavor included in the food that you're eating. So no extreme sweet, no extreme spicy, no extreme salty, no extreme sour, and so on and so forth. So pretty much with the neutral flavors, what we're after is a harmonization of the body. When we have damp heat, it tends to just pull the whole body system out of whack. And so we're trying to harmonize and bring things back into balance. And this is true between every season. We want to harmonize, eat bland foods right on the cusp of the seasons for a period of about 1 to 2 weeks, right in between, right in the middle. Fall is the dry season, and the patterns most often will affect the lung and the large intestine. We might see dryness in the lungs, dry cough. We might see constipation, dryness in the intestines. So the idea here is to eat more astringent foods, moistening foods, foods that are sour, such as sauerkraut, fermented foods, pickles, even foods that are naturally sour, such as green apples, pineapples, and pears are also a good food for this season because they're all helping to moisten and astringe, pulling the fluid in to keep your body feeling like it has enough moisture. You want to definitely avoid pungent or spicy foods such as onions and garlic and things like that during this season because they are very drying, and they will do the opposite effect of what you are trying to accomplish with the astringent foods. Now, lastly, we have winter, which is the cold season, of course, and so we will see cold patterns. We will see patterns affecting the kidneys and the urinary bladder. We'll also see some people will have a harder time regulating their body temperature depending on lots of different things, and so these types of things might be exacerbated in this season. And some of the foods that you would want to eat during the winter time are what you would think, and that's soups and stews, hearty, like cooked vegetables. If you eat meat, cooked meats like chicken and turkey, things like that, beef, more yang foods, which are like warming foods. So denser foods are more appropriate for this season as well because we're trying to provide the body with more nutrients to keep warm, more energy to keep warm. And so your body is naturally going to crave warmer, heavier, heartier foods because of this. It is best to avoid raw foods during this time of year as it takes up too much energy to digest, process, and absorb. It also takes away from the body's energy to warm up the body. And if you think of raw food, it's considered a cold food whenever it is in the raw state. And this is one of the reasons why. Eating too much raw food in general, no matter what time of year, can actually damage the body's ability to digest and absorb. So it's always best to do raw food in moderation, not in excess. I hope this video was informative and helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me by either commenting below, or you can reach out to me in one of my other methods. If you scroll down in the description, there's lots of different ways you can get a hold of me. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.